Hello everybody, it's Ocelot, and here I am with an updated guide for the DLC. At 1 hour and 6 minutes into the game, we have enough smithing stones to level up any smithing weapon up to plus 17. We have enough somber stones to get a weapon up to plus 6. Yes, I do see that we're missing a somber 3, but let me show you on the map where you can get one for free. There's one here, just southeast of the East Raya Lucaria gate, right on this mark. If you don't want to bother picking that up, you can always go here to the road to the Manor side of Grace and buy one from EG. Also, if you look at the bottom right, we have 151,000 runes. As for the DLC, I'm going to show you how to get 29 Shadow Tree fragments without fighting any major bosses. This is going to give you a blessing level of 13. Again, without fighting any major bosses. And there you go, look at my stats. If you're interested in seeing how this is done, let's continue on with the video. So go ahead and choose any starting class. For the purposes of this video, we're going to use a wretch. I'm just going to run straight out past this grafted scion, jump off to my death, go up the next lift that's coming up, and get right into Limgrave. I'm going to show you a sped up route on how to get everything. So let's grab this first grace, the first step. Keep in mind that I'm going to speed everything up while we're not picking anything up. But when we do get to any key items that we need to get, I will make sure to slow the video down, just like right here. Make sure to grab that golden rune. We're going to grab this side of grace and continue to head northeast. A key item that we're going to need, as you're going to see me pick up, is going to be root resin. It's not 100% necessary to farm for this material. Just know that you can find it at the base of most trees, and when you come up to it, just go ahead and pick it up. Kukri is also always going to be handy, but for now we're just going north to the side of Grace. We're going to rest at it so we can get our spectral steed Torrent. Here it is on the map. It's going to be the gate front side of Grace. Go ahead and rest. You're going to talk to Melina. Just accept her invitation. Once you're done talking to her, she's going to give you the spectral steed whistle. I want to make sure it's daytime as much as possible. We're going to head south into this cellar. In the chest, you're going to find the whetstone knife. This is going to allow you to apply ashes of war at sites of graces, so you don't have to go strictly to EG at the round table. Let's go ahead and warp to the gate front side of Grace and head northwest. We're going to be picking up more upgrade material. Make sure to pick up as many mushrooms that you could see. Again, you don't have to farm for it. Also golden seeds. Those are going to be on the route as well. And coming up, we're going to have some smithing stones. I will slow it down every time we need to pick up smithing stones. But as I said, in between running from point to point, we're just going to speed it up. That way you can see the full route and you don't get lost yourself. And it'll be an easy follow along. There's going to be some graves scattered around the overworld, which you can go ahead and loot for some golden runes. But this guide is not reliant on you picking up all the golden runes. Just make sure to pick up, as you can see here on the map where we're at, the upgrade materials such as the smithing stones, somber stones, golden seeds, and sacred tears. Now right there we had to lure the troll over so you can break that statue. It's going to be access to the smithing stone 1s and smithing stone 2. From there just head north, then head directly east, right past the encampment, down the hill, and past the Mad Pumpkinhead. There's going to be a merchant. Here we are. It's a Saint's Bridge. Past the bridge and on the bridge, first of all, you're going to find smithing stone 1s, but at the merchant, you're going to want to sell enough golden runes so you can buy crackpots. These are going to come in handy for later on in your playthrough. If you don't want these, you can skip them. They are not necessary for the purposes of this guide. After you talk to the merchant, head southeast towards the ruins. There's going to be some Trina's lilies. These are also going to be important, and here they are on the map where we're at. But again, they're not necessary for the purposes of this guide. This is more to give you material for later on in your playthrough. At this graveyard, here's going to be a Fever's Cookbook 1. That's going to be the recipe for sleep pots, which you're going to need Trina's lilies for. And that's the reason why I'm telling you to pick up the Trina's lilies that are on our route. We're coming up east towards the Third Church of America. You're going to want the Sacred Tear, Flask of Wondrous Physic, and you're going to want to make sure to grab the Grace here. We're going to have to come back here later. For now, we're going to head south. We're going to be going into the Mistwood and also down to Fort Height. So let's go ahead and jump on Torrent and head south. There's going to be some ruins that you're going to want to pass by. They'll be coming up on the right. There's going to be a golden rune you want to pick up. There's going to be some smithing stone 2s. There's going to be some Trina's lilies. Here it is on the map. Here's our next destination. We're trying to get to the Fort Height. Here are the smithing stone 2s. And right outside there's going to be a sleeping bear. You want to grab the Trina's lilies here. Down in the cellar right past the sleeping bear there's an axe talisman if you'd like to go get it. For the purposes of this guide, we're not going to need it. Let's go ahead and rest at this side of Grace. It's going to be the Fort Height west side of Grace, but we're going to head east into the fort. There's a couple things, well, more than a couple things you want to pick up here. Mainly, you're going to want to pick up the blood rose, the golden seed. Inside, you'll find some more blood rose. At the very top, you're going to find one of the halves of the Dectus medallion. Down here, you're going to find a cookbook that's going to give you access to blood grease. So once you pick that up, go ahead and continue to head up. Try to avoid these minions that are throwing fire at you. If you ever feel in danger, I'll show you what you can do right here. Just stop. Go to your menu. Quit out. Once you quit out and reload, you're going to see that the whole area was reloaded. So if you had enemies chasing you, they're going to be reset back to their original location. So let's go ahead and open up this chest. Grab the medallion, and we're done here. So let's go ahead and open up the map. We're going to head back to the Church of Ella. A couple things we're going to grab. You can grab the Spirit Calling Bell if you'd like. It's not necessary for this guide. But at this point, she's going to appear here. After you're done exhausting her dialogue, let's go ahead and talk to Merchant Kali. Sell a golden rune or golden runes, so you have 1,200 runes. You're going to want to buy the 3 crack pots that he sells and the crafting kit. Once you're done purchasing everything that you need, let's go ahead and open up the map, and we're going to look directly south, and we're going to go back to the first step. We're going to look south again, and if you jump here, there's going to be a spirit spring, and right at the bottom there's a gold pick of Foulfoot. Let's go ahead and grab that for later. Next, we're going to warp back to Gatefront, but we're going to head directly southeast. Now we're going to be heading into the Weeping Peninsula. We're also going to be picking upgraded material as we need along the route. On this bridge, you're going to find some smithing stone 1s, and on this chair, a somber stone 1. Once we pass this road and to the left, we're going to find another gold pick of Foulfoot. Once you pick that up, go ahead and head directly south, avoiding the enemies as much as possible. We're going to be heading into the Weeping Peninsula. Now in the Weeping Peninsula, we're going to be interested in the upgrade material that it has for our flask. We're going to be picking up Sacred Tears and Golden Seeds. On this bridge, however, you're going to want to grab these smithing stone 1s. There's also going to be this stone sword key. Go ahead and continue to head south, slightly southwest. In this carriage up ahead, it's going to be the Morning Star. You're definitely going to want to pick that up. It's going to be these smithing stone 2s. You're going to want to pick those up too. There's going to be a merchant coming up. And you're going to want to sell enough golden runes so you can buy the smithing stone 2s that this merchant has. So once you're done buying the crackpot and the smithing stone 2 that the merchant had, let's head a little bit southwest. Stick to this route and you're going to end up at a golden seed. Go ahead and turn around and head north, slightly northwest, but then you're going to head a little bit east once you get to the wall. You're going to want to jump over this big rock and then continue to head north, slightly northwest. From here you want to head east. There's going to be a church. You can grab this incantation if you'd like, but the most important thing is grabbing the sacred tear. Continue to head northwest, make this drop off. Jump on the spirit spring that's up ahead. Continue to head northwest. In the distance you're going to see a church. That's going to be our next destination, and there's going to be another sacred tear there. So once you've grabbed the sacred tear, and here it is again on the map, Church of Pilgrimage, let's go ahead and head slightly southwest. Make sure to grab this blood grease, that way you don't have to craft any. You will have to craft 2 more, but here you have a head start if you grab those. Just continue to follow my route. There's going to be some Trina's lilies, which you can pick up on the way. You're going to hit up another Church of America. Make sure to grab the sacred tear. But you're not going to stop here. You're going to head southwest, right about there on the map. We're interested in going up to the merchant that's down there. He's going to have a lamp, and he's also going to have some smithing stone tubes. So once you're done with the merchant, let's go ahead and open up the map. You're going to want to warp to the 3rd Church America. Just north of it, in that water area, there's going to be a teleporter. Let's go ahead and use that. That's going to warp you to the northeast section of where you're at. So from this mark, you're going to head directly northeast. Once you're in your new area, and here it is again on the map, you're going to want to follow southeast by south, then southwest past the Erd Tree, and into Fort Fairth. Here's a golden seed you want to pick up. Make sure to grab this coming up grace. You're going to want to need to use it later. Here it is again on the map. This is the Ferrum Great Bridge side of grace. You're going to head south across the bridge and then slightly southwest. You're going to go past the Erd Tree avatar. Obviously don't try to fight it right now as you're underleveled. But past that minor Erd Tree, there's going to be a spirit spring that you want to jump up. This is going to take you up to the area where Fort Fairth is. That's going to be our next destination. So let's go ahead and grab this side of grace. After you grab the side of grace, let's go into the fort. Make sure to turn your lamp on if you have it. If you hit the side of the wall right about here, you can get the bats to come to the side, and you don't have to worry about them as much. But basically, you're going to go up, you're going to go in, and then up. There's going to be a ladder. At the top of the ladder, there's going to be a chest, and you're going to have your second half of the Dectus medallion. With both halves acquired, you now have access to Altus Plateau. For now, let's go ahead and warp to the Fort Fairth side of grace. We're going to go southwest and pick up some more upgrade material. The first one that we're going to find on our way is going to be a sacred tear. But if you jump on top of this skeleton, there's going to be some smithing 7s and another stone sword key and 1 smithing 8. So once you've collected all of that, go ahead and jump back onto the spirit spring, head south, slightly southeast. You want to make your way to the Church of the Plague. You're going to find a sacred tear here. Once you pick it up, you're going to want to head about south. Just follow this path that I just showed you on the map. But basically, we're trying to get into the Celia town of sorcery. So if you just follow my route, you should be good. On this branch, go down naked. Do not go down on torrent unless you're confident in yourself. From there, you're going to go northwest. Here, we're at Celia Crystal Tunnel. And the main reason we're here is we're going to be picking up some smithing stone 5s. There's a total of 8 that you can pick up here. Just keep in mind, this is going to be the most dangerous dungeon that we go through. So again, I'm going to reiterate, if you need to do the quit out and reload strategy, please, this will definitely be the dungeon where you can do it. So once you're done with this dungeon, you're going to want to head directly south. There's going to be some smithing stone 4s and a somber stone 4 that you can pick up, just in case you didn't pick up the somber 4 that was in that previous dungeon. So I'm about to rest here at this site of grace, and if this is going to be the first time that you have rested at a site of grace, you're going to be invited to the round table. I recommend you go ahead and make the journey there. Although there isn't anything that we need to pick up, at least you'll have the site of grace there if you need to go there. So the next spot we're going to go to is Liurnia. So go ahead and warp to the Stormhill Shack site of grace. We're going to take this general path and do the Stormvale Castle skip. Again, just follow my character on screen and I'll show you exactly how to go to the next area. Coming up will be the Church of Aerith. There's going to be a sacred tier here that you want to pick up. Then we're going to head north in that general direction, slightly northwest, where we're going to be heading deeper into Liurnia of the Lakes. At this upcoming merchant, you're going to want to buy his 3 smithing stone 2s. Also, if you haven't bought the lamp yet, you have a chance to buy it right here. Once you're done with the merchant, go ahead and continue heading north. This upcoming grace is going to be the Laskyar Ruins site of grace. I recommend picking it up as we're going to be heading back into this area in the future. After you grab it, go ahead and head north. There's going to be a smithing stone 3 right next to the teleporter. Grab that and head right into the teleporter. This is going to take you right outside of the academy. There's a site of grace you want to pick up, so go ahead and grab that. Here we are on the map. But now we're going to go after the key. But let's grab this smithing stone 3 just south of this site of grace. We're going to head back north and then west. You're going to want to jump down on this point to this rock. There's some golden runes here that you can pick up. If you're done picking those up, go ahead and continue west towards the gazebo. There's some smithing stone 2s that I recommend that you pick up. Continue to head west, slightly northwest. We're going to be heading towards the academy key. But also, we're going to be heading towards some smithing stone 3s that are just north in another gazebo from this location. There's going to be a couple of spirit calling wraiths, so I like to hide right near this general area. Here we are on the map. And in that gazebo, we're going to find the smithing stone 3s that we're after. Once you pick them up, go ahead and warp back to the Lascar Ruins site of Grace. We're going to complete Raya's quest, which is going to be north of the teleporter. You're going to want to talk to her in the gazebo first. She's going to ask you to retrieve a necklace for her. Here she is on the map. So from here, you're going to want to head northwest towards the Boiled Prawn Shack. In order to purchase Raya's necklace, you're going to want to pop enough runes to make sure that you have 1,000. You could also kill Blackguard for this. However, I recommend just spending the 1,000 runes, because you can continue his quest line later on if you'd like, which will give you access to Boiled Crab, which is a physical damage negation consumable. So here we are back at Raya. Gave her a necklace back. She gave us the invitation to Volcano Manor. Let's go ahead and warp back to the Boiled Prawn Shack side of Grace, where we bought the necklace from. We're going to follow that general path, which is north, northeast, and then north. We're going to be picking up some more smithing stone 3s. So in this gazebo, we're going to find 3. Then north of the gazebo, there's going to be a Miranda plant, when there's going to be 3 more smithing stone 3s. Here we are on the map, and here's a general direction we're following. After the Miranda plant, there's going to be another gazebo where we're going to find 3 more smithing stone 3s. And then just west of that, there's going to be a teleporter, so we can teleport to Smithing Master EG. For a couple of reasons, we can use him to upgrade our weapons faster than going to the round table. But also, it'll get you closer to Carrion Manor if you decide to go that way. So here's a teleporter that's going to take you just south of the King's Realm Ruins, which is just south of Smithing Master EG. Go ahead and take it. Next, we're going to head into Altus Plateau. So go ahead and warp to the South Raya Lucaria side of Grace. You're going to follow this general direction to get to the Dectus lift. So once you warp to the side of Grace, you're going to want to head through the gate into the Academy, which is now available since we have the key. You're going to grab this side of Grace and then head northeast. There's going to be a golden seed that you want to pick up. After you pick it up, go ahead and warp back to the Grace that you just picked up. And then we're going to head back out of the gate. This is going to take us to Bellum Highway. I recommend you grab this Grace for later on. Whether you grab it or not, continue to head northwest. Again, we're going towards the Dectus lift. So once you make it up the lift, you're going to see if you did the quest for Raya, she's going to be waiting for you right here. We're not going to talk to her just yet. She's going to warp us to Volcano Manor when we're ready. So for now, let's grab this side of Grace and then continue to head northwest. There's going to be a golden seed that we're going to pick up. And then just northwest of this golden seed, we're going to continue on. We're going to be going into Old Altus Tunnel. In Old Altus Tunnel, we're interested in picking up the Smithing Stone 5s, Somber Stone 5, and Somber Stone 6. And just in case you didn't pick up a Somber Stone 4, you can also pick that up here in Old Altus Tunnel. Just want to remind you, this is going to be a dangerous tunnel. So if you do feel like you are getting crowded by enemies, by all means, do the quit out and reload strategy. So we're almost done picking up smithing stones. We just need the rest of the smithing stone 4s and some more smithing stone 6s. So let's go ahead and warp to the site of Grace, Altus Plateau, which is right next to Raya. Go ahead and talk to her. She's going to ask you to go to Volcano Manor. Accept the invitation. And once you get into Volcano Manor, there's going to be a site of Grace. You can grab that and go right up the stairs straight to one smithing stone 6, but the majority of them are going to be past the secret wall that we can open up after we get the key from talking to Tanith. So once you get the key from Tanith, you're going to want to go to the hall to the left and open up the first door on the right, run through it to the Prison Town Church side of Grace, and then head out to the right. Up on the roof, there's going to be one smithing stone 6. Then you're going to drop down all the way to the bottom, following my route. There's going to be more smithing stone 6s near some graves. After you pick up these smithing stone 6s here, you're going to jump across the lava. Again, just follow my route. Fastest way to get across the lava is to look at the camera and spam B. This is going to cause your character to backstep. Don't forget to heal up as needed. Up on this roof is a Somber Stone 6. If you already have it, that's perfect. Now you have another one. On top of these roofs are some more Smithing Stone 6s. After you grab these, we're going to head east and up a lift. Up this lift, we're going to open up access to the church where the Godskin Noble is. This is optional, but since you're here, you may as well do it. We're done here at Volcano Manor, so warp to the Third Church America. We're going to head north across 2 Spirit Springs, and then we're going to head east. We're going to be interested in getting into Kaled. We'll be heading into Gale Tunnel, and this is going to be to pick up the rest of the Smithing Stone 4s. So just go ahead and follow me on screen. There's going to be one outside of Gale Tunnel that you want to pick up. Just be careful because there are going to be some crows that are going to try to go after you. After you pick it up, head back west. And you're going to go right into Gale Tunnel. And in Gale Tunnel, there's going to be 8 Smithing Stone 4s that you want to make sure that you pick up. There's also going to be a Somber Stone 2 right here, which you also want to pick up. And here we are on the map. Make sure to follow the route I take. I'm going to drop off here to the left and take out this first soldier. He has a horn, and if you allow him to blow it, all the enemies inside of this tunnel are going to aggro towards you. If you take him out fast enough, then you can avoid that. There's a gold pickle falfa that you can pick up. Now I wasn't able to take him out fast enough. So as you see, I'm quitting out and reloading multiple times. So if he sounds his horn or if you're in danger, again, use the quit out and reload function to reset the area and just continue on. Once you pick up the smithing stone 4s in this Gale tunnel, you're done picking up upgrade material. The next thing that we're going to do is get you your 151,000 runes. To do that, we're going to head to Fort Ferrith. I'm going to show you how to easily cheese the sleeping dragon here. So you're going to make sure that you equip the Morning Star, and you want to craft blood grease. 4 is good, 3 is really what you need, but if you have 4, that's good enough. Make sure you have your gold pickle fowl foot ready. Go to this section of the sleeping dragon, apply the blood grease to your Morning Star, and just whack away at her. It should take about 3 to 4 minutes to kill her. Just apply blood grease as needed. Once you see that she's dying, go ahead and pop your gold pickle fowl foot, and by doing so, this is going to net you over 96,000 runes. Now at this point, if you know what build you're going for, you can spend the runes, because the next thing we're going to do is cheese the Knight's Cavalry, and depending on your luck, the Knight's Cavalry may or may not kill you while you're trying to cheese him. For now, head to the Farum Great Bridge site of Grace. You're going to want to change the time until nighttime. So go ahead and rest. Change the time to night. And I'm going to show you on the map the general route that you want to take. But it's basically going to be the east side of Dragon Barrel. So here we are on the map. From here, you want to go down to this section. There's going to be a site of Grace, Lenny's Rise, and right here is where you're going to want to cheese the Knight's Cavalry. So what you want to do is approach him. He's going to aggro you, and then you want to head to the east side. Go on this side of the bridge. All you have to do is stand here and dodge his attacks. Once he goes down that dip and he does that jump, he'll kill himself, eat another gold pickle fowl foot, and this will net you another 54,000 runes, and is going to push you over 151,000 runes. So next up, I'm going to show you the best route on how to start your character's journey in the DLC. After touching the Withered Arm, you're going to end up here, right near the gravesite plain side of Grace. You're going to want to head east to the Church of Consolation, then to this second mark, northwest to this third mark, slightly northwest to this fourth mark, and just south to this fifth mark. Those are going to be the first 5 Shadow Tree fragments that we're going to be picking up. There's also going to be a site of Grace there in one of those marks. I believe it's going to be the third one that you're going to want to pick up also. So again, just head east, slightly northeast to the Church of Consolation. Now I already picked it up, but right in front of this altar, there's going to be some Shadow Tree fragments. Once you pick those up, warp back to the gravesite plain side of Grace, and then you're going to head northeast to mark number 2. There's going to be an enemy carrying a pot on their head. You're going to want to kill that enemy. Should die within 2 to 3 hits, or even 1. But by killing him, you're going to get another Shadow Tree fragment. So get out of there as soon as possible. Head northwest to our third mark. And on our third mark, there's going to be a site of Grace and yet another fragment that you can pick up. So right here, make sure you pick up the 3-path cross site of Grace. This is going to be a crucial point for us to warp back to. Grab the fragment, head west, and we're going to be going to mark number 4. This is going to be just outside of Bellarat Town Settlement. We will be going in there just for 1 fragment, but not just quite yet. So go ahead and grab this fragment, the site of Grace, and then continue to head south for yet another pot enemy and another fragment. There's a site of Grace coming up that you can pick up and rest at, just in case you want to de-aggro the bats around you. Or, as usual, you can do the quit out and reload strategy. But here we are near the 5th mark, and here is the pot enemy that has a Shadow Tree fragment. Once you take that off of his hands, go ahead and warp back to the side of Grace we were just at, the main gate cross side of Grace. We're going to be heading into Ballarat, and we're going to be going in there just to pick up the one fragment, but we'll be heading back to the three-way path cross side of Grace. Now this upcoming section can be dangerous. Right past this fountain, there's going to be some mages that are going to be spamming those spirals at you. So just try to avoid it as much as possible. Head through the door. There's another side of Grace that you can rest at if you'd like. Go on top of these rooftops and just continue following my route. There's going to be this ladder here that you can go up. Again, if you don't want to deal with the enemies, just quit out and reload the section. But here we are, we're almost near the fragment. Right here, I'm going to slow it down. You want to go in this entrance, but go back out. Otherwise, this fly right here will grab you. You can deal with it or run past it like I did. Here's the one fragment that we were interested in. Again, quit out and reload. Or like me, you can use the Memory of Grace, which will take you right back to the Grace that you were just at. So warp back to the three-path cross side of Grace. We're going to head northeast towards Castle Ensis. We're going to go to this first mark. There's going to be a fragment and a side of Grace there. And then we're going to head towards this second mark. After that, we're going to head towards this third mark. There's going to be a spirit spring there. Near this fourth mark, there's going to be a side of Grace that we want to pick up. And on the fifth mark, there's going to be another spirit spring that we want to use. So go ahead and warp to the three-path cross side of Grace. Head northeast. There's going to be a bridge. And on the other side of the bridge, there's going to be an enemy shooting ballistic arrows at you. So you can stick to the side or just sprint through. But you should be fine as long as you don't stop moving. There's a fragment. And here's the side of Grace. So before we go to our second mark, let's go into Castle Ensis towards this first mark. We're going to be interested in one Shadow Tree fragment. We're just going to run past all these enemies. But again, if they become too overwhelming, just quit out and reload the area. So now that you've gotten the fragment from Castle Ensis, let's go ahead and head southeast towards the second mark. Now after we grab this fragment, you're going to want to head back to the side of Grace that we just came from, the Castle Ensis side of Grace. We're going to be going to this third mark that we made. We're going to head southeast again, but this time we're going to take a path that goes a little bit lower than the one we just took. So coming up, there's going to be a spirit spring that's blocked off, and you either need to find the pile of rocks to open it up, or if you have Moog's or Margit's shackle, you can use it on the blocked off spirit spring to open it up. That's what I'm going to use. There's going to be another one that we need to use it at. So if you don't have the shackle, just go ahead and look around the area for a pile of rocks that you can knock down. So this is going to be the next path that we're taking. We're going to be jumping into the Fort of Reprimand. We're just going to run through it though. We're going to be heading to our next mark. After this next mark, we're going to be going to yet another spirit spring puzzle. So now that you've picked up this fragment, let's go ahead and take a look at the map again and see the route that we're going to be taking. You're going to want to head northwest. This is going to be the Mirth Ruins. There's going to be a pot guy there that you can take out for a fragment. There's a mesmer camp on the second mark for another fragment. On this third mark, there's going to be some NPCs hanging around another fragment. On this fourth mark and on this fifth mark will be 2 more fragments. Just be careful on the fourth mark, there's going to be a furnace golem. And on the fifth mark, there's going to be an NPC invasion. The NPC invasion is not necessary. You either have to take the NPC out though once you get into that church where the 5th mark is, or you can just run away from him. Now be careful taking out this next pot guy, because once you get near this area, there's going to be a curse blade, which as you can see, he's starting to attack me. These enemies are very annoying and powerful. You may be able to take them on, but I definitely just run away from them. So here's another fragment and a site of grace. It's going to be the Mirth Ruins site of grace. From here, we're going to head west, slightly northwest, into the mesmer camp. Also be careful here, as the soldiers can swarm you and stun lock you. So I suggest grabbing the fragment and getting out of there. Next, let's go to our third mark. This is going to be just north of Castle Ensis. After you grab this fragment, head directly north. Here we are on the map. The last 2 fragments are the 2 I was telling you about. One by the Furnace Golem, and the last one is going to be by the NPC invasion. So once you grab this fragment on this mark, you're going to want to head back to the Mirth Ruins site of grace. This time we're going to head northeast. Near this mark right here, there's going to be a fragment, and this is going to be the general route to pick up another fragment. But basically, we're going to head northeast to this first mark. There's going to be a statue of America. There's also going to be a tunnel. We're going to go through that tunnel, head north, then northwest, and then west. And that's going to be the second mark that we made. So here we've made it to the Templetown Ruins. Now there is a site of grace just slightly northwest of these ruins that you can grab if you'd like. I didn't grab it, I just went straight for the fragment. Then after grabbing this fragment, I headed directly south. There's going to be a drop-off point. Just be careful that you don't slip, as this is a very high spot to drop from. But just go ahead and use these gravestone markers to drop all the way down. We're going to follow this general path. We're heading into the Cerulean Fields. So we're going to be heading slightly southeast. And we're going to continue all the way down. And there's going to be 2 more fragments that are available right now. And then there's going to be a site of grace that we pick up, so you can grab a 3rd fragment later on. So here we are coming up to the Cerulean Coast side of Grace. Go ahead and grab that, and then we're going to head directly west. There's going to be a fragment there. On the second mark, there's also a fragment. On the third mark, there is an entrance to another fragment. However, since we haven't progressed far enough into the game, it's not going to be available just yet. I do run to that mark either way though, so you can grab the side of Grace, and you can go there later on. So here we are coming up to the side cave with the fragment in it. Just be careful because there is an enemy. Once you grab it, you can do the good old-fashioned quit out and reload. Or, like I do, you can just Memory of Grace. Go back to the Cerulean Coast side of Grace. Then we're going to head directly south. There's going to be a fragment on this second mark that we made. And again, keep in mind, on the third mark, it's not going to be just available yet, but there is going to be a side of Grace that you can pick up, so you can go down there and pick up the fragment later. So there you can see that the area is blocked off, but just go ahead and grab this side of Grace. Once you pick it up, let's go ahead and head back to the Morth Ruins. We're going to head into the Morth Ruins. There's a tunnel that we're going to go through. We're going to pick up a gesture here on our second mark, go across this bridge, go across another bridge, follow this general route, and we're going to be heading into the Shadow Keep through the rear entrance. Going through these ruins, I'm going to slow it down a bit. What you want to do is head south, but slightly southeast. Here is where you're going to want to drop in. This is going to be the safest route that you can take. Just continue to head down. Just be careful right here that you don't drop all the way down. I don't think it's death. But just keep on following my route until you get to this ladder. Go up the ladder, then head slightly northeast. You're going to pick up a gesture. After you pick up this gesture, that's when you're going to want to go across the bridges. And that's going to take you directly to the rear entrance of the Shadow Keep. So here we are entering the Shadow Keep through the Church District. Up ahead you're going to see a site of Grace. I recommend you grab it. Here we are on the map. Now we're going to be doing some platforming. So just go ahead and follow my route and try not to fall into the water. The first thing we're going to do though is to drain that water. It is not necessary, but it will make your life a little bit easier now and as you go through the game. So just follow my route here. Again, if you don't want to fight the enemies, just run past them. Here's another fragment, but we don't want to get it just yet. We want to drain the water, so if we miss the jump, we don't die. This is the way to pull the mechanism that's going to drain the water. Here it is right here. Once you drain the water, go ahead and go back to that fragment that I showed you just earlier. Now you can see that there's no water. So if you miss this jump, you're not going to die. You just have to go back up a lift to get back here. Or you can warp back to the Grace and get to this point also. So now we're going to go up a lift. We're in the specimen storehouse. I recommend you grab this side of grace. The first thing we're going to do is go up this ladder right here at the very top. You're going to head slightly southeast or east. Keep on continuing forward. You're going to go out on these rafters. Continue up. Go up this lift. At the top, you're going to make a left. You're going to make a right. And just continue on up this ladder. Once you go across this area, you're going to want to drop down to the area you could see below. We're going to go outside again. And we're going to go down another lift. This is going to take you down to a section where you can fight a remembrance boss. Here we are on the map. But we're actually just interested in the fragment that is just outside of this area. After grabbing that fragment, you're going to want to warp back to the storehouse back section side of Grace. Just past the ladder we went up earlier, there's going to be a drop off. This is going to be the storehouse first floor side of Grace. You're going to want to grab this. This is definitely going to be a nexus of where we can grab some more fragments going up into the Shadow Keep. But also, it'll give us access to Rao Ruins later on once we're done with the Shadow Keep. So just continue to follow my character on screen as we go up. Here's another fragment. We're going to continue to go up as high as possible. We're going to make it to the 7th floor side of Grace. So this right here is going to be the storehouse 7th floor side of Grace. From here, we're going to double back. We're going to want to flip this lever that's down below. This is going to turn the middle contraption and is going to give us a platform that we can jump on. It's going to give us access to a remembrance boss, but we're not after the remembrance boss. We're after the fragment that's just near him. So just follow this route right here. If you don't want to fight the knight that's right here, you just crouch where I'm at. Just chill. Wait for the knight to pass by. Once the knight's past you, you can open up the door that the knight was gatekeeping. Here you're going to find a Shadow Tree fragment and a Side of Grace. Go ahead and grab the Side of Grace for your future run. After you grab that Grace, let's go back to the storehouse first floor side of Grace. This time we're going to head west. There's going to be a lift. You want to head down it. Down this lift is going to be access to the Rao Ruins. In the Rao Ruins is going to be our last set of Shadow Tree fragment upgrade material that we're going to pick up. So again, just follow my route. This is going to be a long bridge that you can use Torrent on. For some reason, a lot of people don't know that you can use Torrent here. We're going to use Torrent, and once you get past Salza, just go into this door. There's going to be another lift. Go up the lift. Make sure you grab this Side of Grace. I didn't grab it. And then you're going to want to head slightly northeast from that position. You're going to drop down. There's going to be a hidden wall right here. Go ahead and hit it. And just continue following on. The first fragment is going to be held by a pot enemy. And here the pot enemy is. So go ahead and kill it. There's a fragment. Head straight. You're going to go down and continue to head straight. Just go all the way to the end and make a left. Continue this until you come out of this area. You're going to see a Side of Grace and a Michaelis cross. And here you're going to find another fragment. Here we are on the map. So go ahead and continue west, slightly southwest. You're going to see a Furnace Golem in the distance. As long as you keep on moving, you won't get hit by his attack. But right past this area, you want to go to this blocked off Spirit Spring. Use Moog's Shackle or Margit's Shackle. You're going to want to open it up. Jump on Torrent and jump up the Spirit Spring. You're You're going to go into the ruins to your right. There's going to be stairs on your left. You want to continue up those stairs and grab the site of grace. Let's grab this just in case we die. Here we are on the map. Next, let's go ahead and go back the way we just came through here. We're going to go down the stairs, and there's going to be a drop that you want to drop down to. You want to stick to the right, and then once you come out the door, you want to stick to the right again. And that's going to be our 29th fragment and the last fragment for this guide. And that's going to be it. With this, you have 29 fragments, which is going to give you enough to have a Shadow Tree Blessing of level 13. Without fighting any major bosses, just those little pot enemies to get the fragments. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. If you'd like to catch me live doing any challenge run or any run that I'm doing, you can catch me here or on Twitch. Hopefully I see you guys live. If I don't, I'll definitely catch you on the next one. Have a good day, morning, or night. Bye.